welcome to the Vortex here. One of the voices, Dude Matthew.
And I am Dude Taylor.
Woo! Two dudes of the Vortex here. We are, well, we're in Season 7, Part 2.
All right. Woohoo!
Isn't that exciting?
It's very exciting.
Took forever to get
I know.
here. Jeez.
But it's so good because we're going to have 8 weeks in a row of just Doctor Who-y goodness.
What show is that we're going to have 8 weeks of?
Doctor Who.
Oh, I never realized how much I loved hearing that said.
Well, we're going to talk about the Bells of St. John this week. It's a great episode. First thing I wanted to do, though, just real quick, is I wanted to talk, we haven't done this in a while, but a little bit of Doctor Who news. Because there's a lot.
Doctor Who news.
Yes. There's a lot of stuff.
A
lot of stuff about the 50th anniversary that came out, like, this week, which is very exciting. A couple things. It has been revealed that David Tennant and Billie Piper are coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Woohoo!
As the Doctor and Rose.
Yes, as the Doctor and Rose. And there will be Zygons, which...
The Zygons.
Yes, I've never seen, but I am familiar with them. I know they were from the old show, and they were in like one episode, but they were really popular.
Mm-hmm. This is actually before... This is an enemy I've never seen in a Doctor Who episode.
Well, cool. Yeah, because it hasn't been in the new Who, and then they referenced them. They actually referenced them this season in the Power of Three. They were the ones who were behind the hotel thing that ruined Amy. Yeah, ruined Amy and Rory's whatever. But yeah, so that's exciting. They've started filming. There's been some paparazzi taking some real far away shots of some stuff over there. So it's pretty exciting. Let's see. What else? I feel like there was something else.
Something else.
Something else Doctor Who-y news-ish.
What else Doctor Who-y news-ish has come out?
Oh, well, they...
There's
there's
something else, too, and I can't think of what it is.
Yeah, I know there's a synopsis for the finale of this season. They've been kind of keeping that. That's like the only one that's kind of been under wraps, and they finally have something for it. It's someone is kidnapping the Doctor's friends and leading him somewhere where he should never go, or something like that. So,
ooh,
yes, I'm thinking
that's exciting.
Yes, I'm thinking the Fields of Transalore.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be awesome.
That would be. I don't know if we want to see that right away, though. I'm kind of hoping that takes a while. That's the end of Matt Smith's run that we see.
Yeah, I could see that too. That should be the end. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on with that. And I know, I think River's supposed to be back too for that. So
yeah,
that'll be cool.
Well, it's River's song. I hope she's back.
Yes, I hope so too. One thought I had about the David Tennant thing is I was wondering if he was going to be the Doctor or if he was going to be the 10-2, Doctor 2.
The with the human heart, yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering that. That was kind of my thought there.
That's interesting. That's actually a very interesting point because, if they're crossing over from another universe, that could be really disastrous.
Right. Well, there's that, and there's also the whole, if he actually meets the actual 10th Doctor, wouldn't he remember meeting himself? So, there's that, so they would have to explain that, too. So, we'll see what happens. My theory is that they're going to reveal more people as it goes on. I don't think that the special is just going to be David Tennant and Billie Piper coming back. I think there's going to be a lot more people.
It could be.
Yes, it could be.
If you just made that would be fine.
I'm really hoping for Eccleston at least.
I would love to see Eccleston.
I would love to at least see the last three guys here. Mm-hmm. So Eccleston, and
even Paul McGann.
Yeah, that would be neat too, to get to see the the 8 to 9 regeneration would be cool to see, what that's about. So yeah, that's the news.
The news from Gallifrey.
Yes.
Ooh, I like that. The news from Gallifrey.
We
should do that.
We should do some tweaking here. Okay. Real quick, I'm going to go over what the episode was about, and then we'll chat about it.
Coolio.
Okay, so the Bells of St. John. It starts off with a guy who's warning us about the Wi-Fi. If you see these weird symbols, don't click. They steal your soul.
No.
And then the doctor, he's like hanging out in this monastery, and the guy's like, the bells of St. John are ringing, and he's like, huh? So then he goes, and it's the TARDIS, the phone is ringing, and it's like, Clara's calling this helpline that she got from someone, and for her internet, and for somehow it's like reaching the doctor, so he's talking to her, and that's kind of how he finds her. So then he goes, and turns out there's these things, they're called spoonheads, and there's this woman, Mrs. Kislet, and they're running this whole thing. And they're basically downloading these people, stealing their souls, and feeding them to this unknown client.
Right. Unknown client. Yes. Mysterious overlord of all things Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So they try to get... They almost have Clara, but the doctor gets her back, and so then they keep trying to get her. And there's this whole thing with the plane, like they have a plane going to crash towards them, and then he stops that, and then there's this whole thing where he rides the motorcycle up the building, and he stops them, and all this stuff. And turns out at the end, dun dun dun, the big thing here is it's the Great Intelligence again.
Again,
like you don't even think about it because it's been several months. But it's like the next episode is the Great Intelligence again. So that's really interesting, and we'll talk about that when we get there.
Indeed.
And then, so then he saves the day, and Clara's like, ask me again tomorrow, and I'll say yes, and we'll go on some adventure. So yeah. Pretty interesting and pretty fun. Really just a fun episode, I thought.
A super fun episode. I don't understand. There have been some people already I've talked to that have said, I don't like it. Clara seems just like Amy 2.0, and I'm not sure. And I'm sitting here thinking, it's brilliant.
Yeah, well, my only issue with the whole thing is that it's just a little weird. Like, it's really different the way this companion is being introduced. So, and different can be good and it can be bad, but it is different. So it's kind of weird to watch it and go,
right?
Okay, what's going on here with her, and just kind of a weird way to introduce, because usually we see the story through the companion's eyes, kind of. But I feel like in this instance we're seeing it from the Doctor's perspective.
Which is something we haven't really done yet in this series.
No, it's always like, the people at home, we're the companions, and we're traveling with the Doctor through Rose or Martha or Donna or whoever. And I feel like in this one, it's like the Doctor is the only reason she's the companion is because he's trying to figure out something that's going on with her. So it's like now we're the Doctor, and we're trying to figure out also what's going on with Clara with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and with Amy, yes, there was mystery too. But I think with any good companion, there should be a little bit of mystery. We shouldn't know everything about the companion right away.
Right.
But I like that specifically with the Stephen Moffat companions. It's not just that there's a mystery; it's that everything's a mystery. There has to be a mystery for this new companion because there's still a mystery to the Doctor. There's still a mystery to what's going on, and that just sort of feeds into it. So I think it's better that they all come off as mysterious. Yeah, well, and that's the fun part of the show is just theorizing and guessing. So if you put if you put a lot of mystery into the people and into the almost anything, even if it's not that important of a mystery. Then
then it's still more enjoyable because you're like, wait, what's going on? And you think about it more. And then you want to watch the show more, and that's how they get you.
Well, they're good at it. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
they're very. The theme was great again. You know, it was the new theme, which I was excited about to see that again. They still had the text was different, and I was trying to figure out. I guess it was clouds this time. What it looked like.
Yeah, it almost looked like that spackle that they used in one of the other ones. From the beginning, the first part of the 7th season.
Yeah, well, they've all been, they had to do something with the episode. Like the last one was kind of like snow, and then the one before that was like the Statue of Liberty thing for the Angels Take Manhattan. So this one, it had a different. It didn't look like snow again. It didn't look just white. I thought it was like something. It kind of looked like clouds to me, but it was kind of hard to tell. There wasn't really anything distinctive about it.
Yeah, well, and I guess it was a little further away from the TV, but it almost looked like the stuff they used. Was it for Dinosaurs on a Spaceship?
No, that was like green scales. Asylum of the Daleks was the bumps, and the Town Called Mercy was like wood. Power of Three was black cubes.
So maybe just in my mind, I imagined that they should be using this particular.
Well, it did seem very
texture.
it seemed very plain, like it was just like what it was going to be from now on.
Yeah.
One cool thing was like they had all these texts like in the air and stuff. It reminded me of Sherlock. With the computer stuff. That's like every time he texts, it's like the words come up on the screen.
Yeah, well,
So it's like, well, it's funny because Moffat writes Sherlock, so he was like, hey, I'm going to do this and this one too.
Similar themes and everything.
Yeah, every time the doctor was like working on the computer really hard, all this stuff was like coming up, and it was pretty neat.
I really like when they do modern day takes because they always play up the technology, and I think that's really cool. They don't play it down. They don't say, well, there's all this new stuff, but people really are more used to this older technology. No, they're always like, no, let's just go for it. People watching Doctor Who, they're more than likely they're tweeting, they're texting.
Yeah. There was a line in here where I feel like Moffat was saying something. First of all, Clara's like watching these kids, and the one kid's reading a book, and the book is written by Amelia Williams, which was a big thing.
Amelia Williams.
That was pretty cool. I liked that.
Such a cool little twist.
Now she's like an author, which is pretty neat.
Well, she got into publishing, remember? She had to publish River's book.
Right. Yeah. And she asked the kid, what chapter are you on? And the kid says, oh, I'm on 10. And Clara says, 11's the best. You'll cry your eyes out. And it's like, Moffat, you. I see what you did there.
So true.
Yeah.
He loves foreshadowing. I really like where he's taking it.
Yeah.
Just like, let me just hammer home that one day it won't be Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Just you'll like this, guys. You'll like this.
And he's just like,
damn it, Moffat.
Yeah. And he has he does a really good. I feel like he doesn't do as many as like Russell T Davies did, but these little winks to the audience. Mm-hmm. But when Moffat does one, it's like that one. It's like really gets you.
It's
it's a really hard wink. Yeah.
that's one of his biggest critics. Talks about how Moffat's he winks too much at Doctor Who. He winks too much at the audience. The whole idea, everyone keeps saying Doctor Who, and then of course that being the question might be too much of a meta writing. It's funny. It's funny that I love it. I think it's clever. But
yeah. So the episode's called "The Bells of St. John," and we come to find out that this means that it's the TARDIS phone in the front, and then there's that sort of circle thing that says St. John's Ambulance on it. So it's the bells of St. John are ringing, so it's the phone. I liked it reminded me of in another Moffat episode, The Empty Child, where the Ninth Doctor is there and the phone starts ringing. He's like, it's not supposed to do that, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How's it doing that? And then he picks it up. But I guess it's the new TARDIS, so there's a new phone on the inside. It's this phone with this really long cord that comes out.
I love the cord.
Yeah, he can walk like 10 feet away from it.
It's so
funny.
goofy.
Yeah. It was really goofy too because when he opened the thing up, like you didn't see the phone. He just reaches in the empty space and like pulls out this phone like on a really long cord. So that was pretty hilarious.
I wonder if he's grabbing the phone from actually inside the TARDIS, because he's got like 3 phones in there.
Oh yeah, it could be. Speaking of the TARDIS, we get the new TARDIS is back again from the Snowman. We get to see it a lot more in detail this time. He goes to Clara's house and he's dressed as the monk.
Mm-hmm. Monks aren't cool.
Monks aren't cool. And he changes clothes and he goes down below the TARDIS. And this TARDIS, I have to say, is much cleaner than the other one. If you went underneath the floor, there's all these wires hanging down. This little swing for him to sit in. This one, it's like clean. There's like nothing, no wires hanging or anything.
Well, and he's kind of going back to basics, isn't he? I mean, he's not as, he was depressed, he was sad, so the TARDIS, so we changed the theme of the TARDIS inside, the desktop theme, as the Fifth Doctor once called it. Mm-hmm. And maybe he's just kind of going to my heart is cold and silver and metal, and that's how the TARDIS should be. And
yeah. All emo-like.
Aw, emo Doctor, emo TARDIS.
More black. It needs more black. So he changes. He's got this new outfit, which it kind of was for the Christmas special, but I felt like that was more just like a Scrooge type outfit. This one, it's more, he doesn't have the hat, but it's purple. He's got this new purple thing going on.
Man, did he rock out a purple outfit.
He did. And it's like a longer coat. My one thing is I'm wondering... there's this kind of nifty thing that they've done in Doctor Who, where if it was a future episode, the 10th Doctor, he would wear his blue suit, and if it was a past episode, he would wear his brown suit. And the same would go for 11. If it was a future, he had, I believe, the red bow tie. No.
Really?
Or, yeah, like the blue bow tie or something. And if... I'm not sure if I maybe switched around on this, and then if it was the past, he wore the red one.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I didn't either, and then I've been watching it recently, and I have noticed it, and it's pretty neat. It's just, I think it's just for fun, and even just for reference. I don't think there's any...
Sure.
Yeah, but anything behind it except for just for that. But I wonder what they're going to do with this, if he's going to have 2 different outfits for this. So,
well, because we've seen a picture from an episode that's supposed to take place in the past, and he's wearing an all gray suit.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
It's a promotional picture they have for an episode coming up, so maybe we'll see him actually change outfits.
There you go. Yeah, it'll make 2 different kinds, or maybe they'll do away with that little thing altogether, and they'll just have him wear whatever
he wants.
Matches the scenery.
Sure.
This episode reminded me a lot of The Idiot's Lantern. It had a lot of the same themes.
Yeah.
It was sort of the... there was the...
Technology
taking
over.
Technology taking your soul. The little light comes out and gets up to your face, and there's the woman too. Just a lot of... and then it takes the companion and he has to rescue her and all this stuff. So there was a lot of parallels there, which I thought was really neat.
I also really like that, when they pick this to be a modern day piece to really kind of ground us, and I like that the Clara is coming from a modern day, because if it had been futuristic Clara or had it been in the past Clara, I don't think we would have identified with her. I think she would have been even more of a mystery. Coming to us, from the present really kind of solidifies who she is.
Right. Well, that's what was really surprising about the snowman was when she died at the end. I was like, I thought this was going to be the Clara. I was super confused. And I was kind of thinking about that before she died. Before I had watched the episode, I thought, okay, so we're going to have this Clara who's from the past, this companion who's from the past. That might take some getting used to, but, I think it'll be all right. And then they were like, oh, no, don't worry about it. We're going to give you a present-day companion.
So you thought we were going to give you this Clara? Dead.
So, yeah, this episode was nice. It was modern. They kept saying it was going to be some kind like a Born Identity type urban thriller, urban action kind of film. It was, yeah. Especially with the motorcycle stuff. That was really good.
I love the motorcycle stuff.
Yeah, me too. Although
Didn't you hear me say the word anti-gravity?
I have to say, there's the one scene where they're riding on the motorcycle. The music was like the cheesiest music I've heard on Doctor Who. I think.
What was it?
It was like this. It was kind of this like little rocky tune, and then there was like this ba 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 da 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 ba 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 ba, and I was like, oh my god, what is this?
It was traveling music.
It was
like
traveling,
Lost, except for Doctor Who.
Yes, not quite as epic as the Lost traveling music, but some ba ba bas. Yeah, sure. A few things I liked about this episode that were really just things that made me go, oh, that's awesome, are like when he sends them the message, and the message is under my protection. I thought that was awesome. And then he's sitting outside her house, and she's like, are you guarding me? And he's like, well, yes. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, and it's almost creepy. Matt Smith pulls off not being creepy, but there's no possible way you can watch that scene and go, dude doing that, not creepy. You can't say that because he's hanging around. She's banging on her door, and he's like, let me in, come on, please, let me in, you know me. And then he's just sitting outside, kind of taking his time. He put her in her bed when she was passed out and got her some flowers and ate one of her cookies. That's just, dude.
And licked her leaf.
Licked her leaf. Did you get anything from that doctor? Did you? I
don't know. 10 used to lick stuff all the time, so must have got something. I don't know.
He did. He licked the wall of the one house in the past.
Yeah. He licked all sorts of stuff, and I remember Planet of the Dead. He licks the sand, to see where they are. And
right.
The only other time this 11th Doctor's licked anything is when in Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, when he sticks his tongue out to see where they are. He's like, well, it's not Earth. Doesn't taste
I like
right.
that he can tell.
Yeah. The other really interesting thing about this is they had downloaded Clara, but they weren't finished. And he gets her back, and now she knows all this stuff about the internet. And knows how to hack the computers and hack into their system. And my one interesting theory kind of about that is, or just kind of observation, is that in Asylum of the Daleks, Oswin was like a computer genius.
Right.
There were a lot of parallels between this Clara and Oswin, and then Clara, Victorian Clara, which the Doctor kind of brings up a lot. He talks about how she's a nanny and all this stuff, and how, and then it turns out her middle name isn't Oswin, but when she's coming up with a username for the internet or whatever, she thinks, oh, Oswald for the win, Oswin. So yeah, so I guess I don't really have a solid theory on this, but my theory is that maybe that they're the same person, they're all the same person. And that maybe Oswin maybe the first time she meets the Doctor is Clara, Victoria and Clara.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but she doesn't quite remember this now, and she's with them now. And then the Oswin in Asylum of the Daleks, maybe she knows him, but she's not. But she doesn't let on that she knows him.
So I have a completely different theory.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. The walls of reality are falling apart. These are 3 different Oswins from 3 different realities. The one he's with, obviously, is the one from our reality.
Okay, and the other 2 are just from different.
Different.
And they've bled over into this reality, or
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. So, theory time, ladies and gentlemen. So there's been a lot of writing, a lot of stories, radio plays, and books and so forth that specifically discuss things that happen right before the Time War. Specifically, the 8th Doctor, in one particular adventure, finds a weapon that's so powerful that it could literally freeze time and create like a time lock, but requires a great sacrifice to do. Now, in the show, we know 2 very important things. One, we know that the Doctor's name has been referenced as having been a part of something that he did to a rift in time and space in Medusa's Cascade.
Yes.
We also know that his name in particular is something that only 2 people know, and that only one time he could ever tell anyone his name. Only one reason he would tell him. Only one time he could. Now, the prophecy is on the fields of Transalore at the fall of the 11th, when no one can forcibly speak or fail to answer. The question will be asked, and silence will fall. The question, of course, being Doctor Who. So what if he used his name in that moment in his life?
Wasn't it the moment that in
he calls it the moment.
The end of
that
time.
He has,
They were saying the Doctor has the moment. Yeah.
What if the moment was when he sealed away the rift, the Medusa's Cascade, and he sacrificed his name? He sealed it away, and that's where the time lock is. All of the Time War is time locked in the Medusa Cascade, so nothing can get in or nothing can get out. But if his word is spoken, if his name is spoken, that would unleash the Time War.
That is everything in my brain just clicked. I mean that makes complete sense, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was it.
See, and I like that sounds so good, and I'm going to be so disappointed if it's not something epic like that.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. Yeah, because then the Time War would be unlocked, and that's basically hell unleashed. The Time Lords would be returned to the galaxy. The Daleks, all those Daleks
would be returned. All the Skaro degradations, as he called them. So it's possible
the
that
Nightmare Child, whatever the heck that is.
What was it? The could have been king with his army of meanwhiles and never-weres?
Yeah.
Which I have got to see that battle.
Yeah, that sounds like a Doctor Who or Dr. Seuss story.
Oh my god. I think I want to write a Doctor Who's story.
Ooh, there you go.
And it's gonna, yes.
Hooray for puns.
The time zones you'll go.
There you go.
Anyway, no, but I like this idea that his name holds that kind of power.
Right.
But if you look at what it would do, by saying his name, it unlocks the Time War, releases everything. Mm-hmm. So the universe becomes a darker place for his final regeneration. Moffat can hand over the reins to someone else to play in a deeper, darker universe. But also, he only has to say his name once, and he only has to say it to one person. I think he says it to River Song. And that's what unlocks the Time War.
Yeah. Now, I
think she's there.
Where does Clara fit into all this?
I don't know yet.
Maybe she is leading him. Is going to lead him towards. She's bait or something.
See, that's what I keep thinking.
Leading him towards this Fields of Transalore, this whole thing.
I feel like she is a trap, that the Silents are using her. Because remember what the Great Intelligence said in The Snowmen? It said, the Doctor has long said, if you can imagine, if you can remember it, it can be again. Remember, he says that to Amy about her parents, the theme of if you can think of it, it can be real. That's how she brings the doctor back. So perhaps he is so intrigued by who this woman is, his constant thinking about it, his mulling it over, him going and meditating on it, physically is bringing her back into existence. And she is trapped by the silence, leading him to the fields of Transalore so they can ask the question or kill him.
Some good stuff.
So that's some ideas. I've seen a little bit of this online, a little bit over there. And
well, that would be interesting too, because the silence, they don't want him to answer the question, basically.
That's right. They wanna, if you kill the man...
So, which basically makes the silence seem kind of like good guys, a little bit. You know,
kind of.
They don't want the Time War to be, if your theory is correct here, if that's what that means,
right?
If it would unlock the Time War, then yeah, the silence it'd be like the alliance that was made in season 5, where they all put them in the Pandorica. You know, they all thought they were doing it for the good of the universe.
Of the universe, yeah. Well, and it's highly possible that the silence is actually a conglomeration of his friends. You know, we don't know who runs the silence yet, just that there are people who consider themselves at war with the Doctor.
Well,
because of his interference.
Yeah, and I actually just watched Let's Kill Hitler, and the Tesselecta gives them the files on the silence, and they say, well, it's not a species, it's an order. So it's not even just those alien dudes. It's this whole other group. There's a group of people that, you know, includes Madame Valdoria,
Madame Vostra.
Or no, whatever her name is.
Not Vostra.
With the eye patch.
Yeah. Crap.
Eye patch lady. That's what I call her. Anyway.
Eye patch girl. Eye patch woman.
Yeah.
So, but see, who's really running the order? Who's in charge? We know that Prisoner Zero knows
about it. Yeah.
So is it possible that Prisoner Zero is involved? I was also thinking about it. She keeps saying, "Run, you clever boy, and remember." And they used those letters with numbers 1, 2, 3 after it as a code in the Bells of St. John that you had to type in. It was a password. Mm-hmm. What if each one of those letters stood for a species or a villain or a character who was a part of the silence? So A could be Autons, C could be Cybermen, R could be, Rassilon, or it could be, can't even think of someone else, but, each one could be referring specifically to a member of the silence.
Oh, no, that doesn't work. I had an idea, and then I tried it out, it didn't work. I was thinking maybe R was, I was thinking the names of his companions. I was thinking you have R, Rory, and Rose. Oh. And Rose. And then A, Amy, and C is Clara. But then you have B and Y. So that didn't work out.
B and Y.
But,
Martha and Donna are not a B and Y.
No.
Dang.
Well, those are some good stuff.
Yeah, just some, for all of those of you out there who are listening to this, if you got some stuff, please shoot us the information. Shoot us some emails. Mm-hmm. Let us know on our Tumblr. Or Taylor, if you'd like to throw them our contact information.
Sure. Yeah, we got we got a Facebook page, facebook.com/Voices from the Vortex, and then Twitter is @Vortex Podcast. And then you can also email me directly, voicesfromthevortex@gmail.com, so that works too.
Voices from the Vortex. Vortex.
All right. Well, let's finish up the episode really quick. They go to the cafe. There's this whole thing where the lady shows him what the Wi-Fi can do and makes all the people talk to him. And there was one part I really liked where he was saying, "Shouldn't you be doing young things with young people?" And he's like dancing. She's like, "What do you mean, like with you, down boy?" And he says, "No, shut up." And then he starts to walk away, and then he goes, "Shh," like he thought maybe that would remind her, because he said "shut up" to her several times in the Snowman. So I loved that little moment of recognition there, where he was like, "Shh, wait, no, never mind," and then he walked away. That really was like hilarious to me when he heard that. And then the big deal where it's like, where it turns out he was a spoonhead. Like, he comes up to her and she's like, "Doctor, I found them." he's like, you found them, and he turns around, and I was like, no, how could they? But then he's sneaky because he turned it around on them.
Sends the Spoonhead back.
I didn't see that coming until about a couple seconds before he did it. I was like, oh, I know what he's doing. But when he was like, I'm going to motivate you, I was like, wait a minute. Something's weird here. He hasn't taken off the helmet. I
was kind of afraid he was just going to push her out the window. Like,
oh, yeah, like hold her over the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an angry doctor. Yes. But no, that was clever. That was very clever.
Yeah. So you get Unit comes back, and they sort of take over and shut the whole thing down. I'm sure he called Unit or whatever. Which is interesting, which is cool. Because we saw them in Power of Three, so I like that they're still there. I like that they're still around.
Oh yeah, well, Unit will always be around. That's the great thing. They've been around since the second Doctor.
Yeah, so it's kind of neat.
But yeah, I like that. I like that they refer to Unit. Like, you know, when Doctor Who came back in 2005, there was only like one or two references to Unit at all. The soldiers were always like, you know, military or police. It was never Unit. We didn't get Unit stuff until season 3, and that's when we started like, okay, now we got some Unit going on. Yeah. I know these guys, and they've really kind of taken their presence again, which is good.
Yeah, and then we find out it's the Great Intelligence again, and it was really interesting because it was the face of Dr. Simeon was the face that was sort of in this thing. I was kind of disappointed it wasn't. It wasn't Ian McKellen again, but, you know, I'm sure he's a busy man. He's got the Hobbit and all that.
Hobbit and the X-Men.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's a future past.
Yeah, but, you know, it was still... I wonder if we're going to see him again. I have a feeling we will.
I feel like he's a part of all this. I think he's a part of the bigger picture. I
feel like he may be a part of this sort of Clara, maybe this Clara thing, or maybe even...
Remember what he said in The Snowman? I mean, it was the Great Intelligence that said, you know, about imaging, you know, and that we've taken on the form, you know. Was talking about if you can, you know... I can't remember exact words, but he's talking about if you can create it or imagine it, you know, then we have taken over. And, I mean, you know, we'll never be gone. We'll just change. We're still here. So maybe it's the Great Intelligence that's creating Clara.
Yeah, maybe. My question here with the Great Intelligence, and I think I can probably answer it myself, but like, where in the time stream is this for, or the time frame is this for the Great Intelligence? My theory is that it's like the Snowman is when he first meets the Doctor, and then he has, because I don't think the Great Intelligence time travels. So then he has a couple adventures with the second Doctor, where he has to deal with him, a couple times, and then there's this. So it's like this is like the fourth time he's have to deal with the Doctor. But it's interesting in the fact that it's the second time the Doctor, the 11th Doctor has seen him.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of a weird.
It's
sandwiched in there. Yeah, it's like 11 and then 2 and 2 and then 11.
But you gotta remember too. The whole thing about about Matt Smith's run is it's all wibbly wobbly. It's nothing's back to front to front to back. It's all, you can never really tell where in the time stream it is. Kind of little muddled. So perhaps that's a part of this, is that you don't know if the Great Intelligence, if it's the first time or the last time or what have you.
Yeah. Well, the other cool thing I think is that they didn't really hint at the Great Intelligence. They didn't hint at it at all at the beginning of this season. So it's like this season's kind of weird because it's like the first 5 episodes, it's like, okay, well, we're finishing Amy and Rory, so it's like it's gonna end with the Angels or whatever. So it's kind of a weird loop there. and the only thing in there is Oswin. So it's kind of like when River shows up in Silence of the Library. You know, that's a 10th Doctor and Donna adventure, but you have this character in there who is going to be important later. Mm-hmm. So that it's kind of like that kind of writings, you know, in there. And then once we get to the Snowmen and we have like, oh, it's going to be Clara, it's going to be this new companion. They're starting off this thing with this big chunk of the great intelligence. Like he's going to be a big deal. So maybe by the end of this season or by the end of like season 8 or something, I feel like there's going to be this big arc with the great intelligence.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see him by the end.
Let's see real quick. Oh gosh. 2 things and then I'm done. The one thing that was probably like the scariest thing I've ever. It wasn't scary. It just really disturbed me. Was Miss Kislet when she reset everyone, including herself, and she was like a little girl. I was like, oh my god, that was like crazy. It was so crazy. It just.
One, I loved it because that was what he did with Simeon as a child.
Yeah. So there's a lot of parallels there. I thought it was really strange at first to be like, oh, the great intelligence again. But then, but now that I'm, it's kind of there's something there. Like there's a reason he did the same monster 2 episodes in a row.
Right.
Yeah. And we'll have to find out what that is.
I've got very little left now. I think for the episode, it was great.
It was really good.
I don't know how other people feel, but it was phenomenal.
I liked she called it the Snog Box. She said, "Was this a Snog Box?"
And that might be something we call it from now on.
I think so. Yeah. TARDIS, like time and relative dimension, including Snogbox or something. I don't know.
Snogbox, time and snog dimensions in space.
Yeah, there you go.
So, Tostis.
Yes,
it's the Tostis.
It's the Tostis. You heard it here first, folks.
See, you hear that, Moffat? We want the Tostis.
Yeah. My last thing about this episode is the really sort of mysterious line at the end. He says, "There's a leaf in your book. What was that?" And she says, "That wasn't a leaf. That was page 1." Mm-hmm. And I have an interesting theory. It's theory time once again.
Yay.
I feel like she knows something. Because in the next episode, there's something about this leaf, too. If you've seen the poster for it, she's holding the leaf. She's holding it out. So it's like, okay, that's page 1. So does she know that something is going to be... her first adventure that she goes on with the Doctor is going to have something to do with a leaf? You know what I mean? Like, there's kind of a...
Right.
And the way she says it at the end, it's like she knows she's not letting on, as much as she knows. I don't know.
Maybe that's actually a reference to something that happened when she was younger. Maybe it's one of those moments where she had an introduction to the Doctor, and she does. I mean, if you watch the prequel, she does meet him, but it's. Perhaps it's a reference to something else that has happened.
Well, and I don't know, but I hear that that they are going to talk about this leaf or something in the next episode, and they're going to bring it up and mention it. So
good,
yeah. So it'll be really interesting to see what she meant by that.
And you know my thoughts on this. I love Clara. I think she's great. I really hope she's not just a one-season trick.
Oh, well, I already know she's going to be... that might be Doctor Who news. I know she's going to be in Season 8. She said that she will be there for Season 8. So.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
But who would she be?
I don't
Perhaps the Ranny? Dun, 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 dun. No, I am not making that guess or theory. That is not happening. I won't let it.
Do you have anything else for this episode?
I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
That's all. It's amazing. It was a great first episode. I can't wait to see more.
Huzzah.
Huzzah!
Now it's time for... Oh
my God, the promo!
Oh my God, the promo!
Oh my God, that promo!
This is for next week's episode, The Rings of Akaten. I believe I'm saying that right.
I believe you believe that too.
Well, that's how he says it in the trailer, so that's what I'm going with. I was saying it wrong for a while, but then I saw the trailer and I go, oh, that's how you say it. Okay.
It looks like Azgatithigan.
Yeah, it looks like cotton or something. Like I thought it was like Akaten or something. I don't know, but
pair of shorts? A cotton pair of shorts? This is going to be an interesting episode.
Yes.
It might actually have Shaq.
Yeah.
No, Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Dang it. Oh, I'm such a nerd. I don't even know which guy it was. Michael Jordan. Fruit of the Loom. Moving on.
Anyway.
So, oh my God, the promo.
Oh my God, the promo. Okay.
Oh my God, the promo.
So, I was a little ticked off at the BBC, or BBC America, because they did not play the promo after the episode.
Mm.
And I was like, but, oh my God, the promo. But so
that's why you sent me that text message.
Yeah.
I downloaded it, so I saw the BBC version. I'm like, why do you want me to go online? Is there a different trailer? And I watched it. I'm like, it's the same trailer. I'm like,
yeah,
dude, I've seen it.
Well, I was like, I said that, because they didn't have the trailer. So I found they had posted it online, and so I was like, oh, okay. So I sent you a text like, hey, watch this before we record. So we watched it.
Yay!
They don't really give you a lot. It seems like it's. I know this is going to be the episode where they go to this weird alien planet.
Mm-hmm. They've talked about it being the biggest alien set they've ever done.
Yeah, and a lot of like different aliens and like different creatures and critters, which I feel like they haven't done that in a while.
They haven't.
No, I feel like there's like maybe a weird location in space, and where there's like some kind of monster or something, or it's a monster we've known before, but they've never. It's been a long time since they've gone to a planet where there's like a different species. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of the last time.
We get New Earth. Oh no! You know which one it was? The Doctor's daughter.
Yeah, with the Hath.
With the Hath. Yeah. Well, no, there was the one before. Well, the Waters of Mars, but the one before that, Planet of the Dead.
Planet of the Dead. Yeah, that was a different planet. I'm trying to think back in Matt Smith stuff too, though. Like, they go to the weird bubble universe, but that's not. That weird planet, but that's like there's not anything there. So this will be kind of exciting because it's kind of something new. It's something they haven't done really a lot, and it'll be fun to see.
I'm thinking about it now too, and I'm like, wait, there's got to be one. It's all Earth-based stuff in the first Matt Smith season.
Yeah, and if it's not Earth-based, it's human. Like there's humans around, like humans on a spaceship or something. On a spaceship.
On a spaceship.
But yeah, there's something with like a princess.
Asylum of the Daleks, I guess.
I guess that would be it. A Dalek planet. He goes to Skaro. Anyway, there's a thing with the princess or something, and I know there's from what I've read, there's like a ceremony going on.
They're gonna sacrifice her.
Sacrifice maybe the princess or something.
Maybe the princess. Maybe Clara.
Clara. Yeah, that was my other thought.
She's gonna die in every episode.
She almost died in this one too. No, there was.
I know, right?
There was the thing. There's the sort of creepy guy in the glass cube, going on the glass, and
you can't sit down. There's no seats in there. His feet hurt.
Yeah, he's wearing sandals too, I think. So he's like,
There's no room to sit down.
No. So there's that, and then there's the one really thing that grabbed my attention in this trailer is there's a part where it looks like the Doctor's regeneration energy is coming out of his chest, like it's like the golden streams are like coming out, and he says, "You have it all," or something. Take it all. So what's that?
What's that about?
Yeah.
Time Lord PMS.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
TMS.
I don't know what to call him.
But yeah, I don't know what. It's he's giving up some regeneration energy or something. So
he's been doing that a lot lately.
Yeah.
Anyone else notice that?
Yeah, he gave some to River.
When River gave some to him.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of that. Yeah, Yeah, I would love soon for there to be some explanation of. And I know
what the limit is.
Yeah, and I know they won't do it until they get to that point where we know there's a conflict in the in continuity where they're going to say, "Oh, well, it said that there used to be 13, but actually, I'm immortal. I live forever."
Well, and it's always possible at his 12th, if they do, release the Time Lords and everything, the Time Lords might grant him a new set of regenerations. They can do that.
It would be neat if, they do release the Time Lords, and the Time War, and then there's another Time War that's fought, and it ends differently to where he saves all his people, and then we get, seasons where there's Time Lords alive again, and he'll go back to Gallifrey and be like, "Hey, what's up, everybody?"
Yo,
Doctor in the house.
Doctor in the house.
So yeah,
Doctor in the Gallifrey. That would be cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited. There's so much stuff that's coming up that they could do, and I can't wait to see it all.
Yes, and it's all gonna keep coming with these episodes. This one looks like it's gonna be weird, but it looks like it's gonna be, that doesn't always mean bad. So,
right,
it seems good. Anything else for this trailer? Our promo.
It looks really cool that they've got these little asteroid planetoid things around this giant planet. I just love that shot where they're standing on one.
Oh yeah, really cool. A lot of outer space shots in this one. It looks like they're big gaping holes in the wall where you can see there's space outside. Yeah, good.
I missed those episodes of Doctor Who.
Yeah,
haven't been enough of them.
No. Well, that's all.
Right. Yeah, this was a great episode, guys.
Yeah.
If you've seen it and you're ready for the next episode, awesome. You're where we're at. If you've seen it and you're like, I don't know, go back and rewatch it.
Yeah.
Give it another try because I think it's worth. I think it's worth an extra viewing.
I watch every episode twice just to get a good grasp on it and take some notes.
Once to go back and apologize. That line, I've been referencing that line all week, and I don't know why. People have been saying something they said twice, and I'm like, second time to apologize. Everyone looks at me, and they have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm like, you don't know.
It's like you just forget it.
You just don't know. You just go away. I'm awesome. You're not. Yeah.
Well, everybody enjoy the next episode tomorrow, and we will see you all next Friday.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Hey, this is Matt from the Vortex.
This is Taylor.
Saying, all of y'all have fun. All of y'all?
All of y'all have fun.
All of y'all have fun.
That's our new slogan, okay?
And your testises.
Deal with it.
Deal with it.
Bye, everybody.
See you guys later. On a spaceship.